Have you ever sat there quietly, maybe late at night or early in the morning, and asked yourself a question you don't say out loud? Why is everyone else moving faster than me? You're doing the work, you're showing up, you're staying disciplined when it would be easier not to, you're choosing the harder path when no one is watching, and yet nothing seems to be happening. No big results, no recognition, no moment where it all clicks, and then the world suddenly notices. Meanwhile, you scroll for 5 minutes and see someone else winning, growing, succeeding, being celebrated. And it doesn't make you question your strategy. It makes you question yourself. But what if the issue isn't your effort or even your ability? What if it's your timeline? What if you've been comparing yourself to the wrong thing this entire time? What if you've been measuring depth with a ruler designed for speed? Let me tell you a story. Picture a quiet piece of land, nothing extravagant, no noise, no chaos, just the steady rhythm of life unfolding at its own pace. On this land, a man keeps 2 animals, a dog and an elephant. The dog is energetic, reactive, constantly moving. It lives in short bursts, quick reactions, quick cycles, quick feedback. Everything about the dog feels immediate, almost urgent. One day the dog becomes pregnant, and within a couple of months, something happens. Life appears. A litter of puppies is born, small, fragile, but undeniably real. You can see them, hear them, pick them up. There's no ambiguity here. People gather. They smile, they react. There's excitement in the air. Because visible results create immediate validation. They confirm effort, they reward action. Meanwhile, not long after, the elephant also becomes pregnant. But this is different. There is no visible shift, no celebration, no clear sign that anything is happening at all, no applause, no proof. Months pass, nothing. Time stretches, a year goes by, still nothing. The dog by now has already had another litter, then another, each time reinforcing the same narrative. Progress should be quick, results should be visible, success should be immediate. And every time the dog is validated, rewarded, recognized, reinforced. But the elephant still waiting, still carrying, still unseen. Time passes, and from the outside, it begins to look uncertain, even questionable. Eventually the dog approaches the elephant, not aggressively but curiously, almost with a hint of disbelief. Are you sure you're even pregnant? It's been ages, years. I've had multiple litters, and you've produced nothing. And in that moment, you can feel the weight of comparison, the quiet pressure to explain yourself, to justify your timeline. The elephant turns slowly, calm, grounded, not rushed, not reactive. There's no insecurity in its posture, no urgency to defend, only certainty. And it says, there is something you don't understand. Pause there, because that line alone separates 2 mindsets, the one that reacts and the one that knows. She says, what I carry is not a puppy, and suddenly the entire conversation shifts. And then the elephant continues. When my baby touches the ground, the earth will feel it. When it walks, the ground will shake. What I'm carrying takes time because it is built differently. No emotion, no defensiveness, just truth. Because the elephant comes out running. This story resonates because it reflects something deeply human. At some point in your life, you've been the elephant. You've been in a season where you're working but no one sees it. You're improving but no one acknowledges it. You're building something but there's no external proof. And that phase, it's the most psychologically demanding part of any journey. Not because the work is harder, but because the feedback is missing. We are wired to look for signals, proof, validation, evidence that we're doing the right thing, and it's working. When those signals aren't there, the mind starts to fill in the gaps, with doubt, with comparison, with fear. We love stories that compress time, stories that say it just happened. But reality is rarely that clean. Take Colonel Sanders, the man behind KFC. To the world, he was a symbol of success, a brand, a face, a legacy. But behind that image is a timeline most people would quit in. Before success, he faced constant rejection, struggled financially. He refined his process over and over again. He was in his 60s when things finally worked out. Think about the psychological endurance that requires. Holding belief without evidence for decades. And now I think KFC is the #1 seller of chicken worldwide. Because success is like an iceberg. Above the surface is the outcome, the win, the recognition. But below the surface is the real story. Years of failure, adjustment, learning, persistence, and quiet resilience. And here's the trap. You are comparing your full journey to someone else's final moment. It's not just unfair, it's inaccurate. There's a type of bamboo that for years shows no visible growth. You water it, care for it, stay consistent, and nothing appears. Then suddenly it grows rapidly. But that growth wasn't sudden, it was delayed visibility. Everything was happening underground first. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they misread the phase they are in. They interpret silence as failure, delay as lack of progress, stillness as stagnation, and they quit right before the shift. Now here's where this becomes actionable, because understanding this is one thing, living it is another. Well, we need to redefine progress because we should stop measuring progress purely by outcomes. Instead, measure skill acquisition, consistency, discipline, and decision-making quality. Ask yourself, did I get better today? Not, did I get results today? It's the whole judge a day by the seeds that you plant, not the harvest you reap. And then build internal validation. If you rely on external results to feel progress, you will always feel behind. Start creating your own metrics. Did I show up? Did I execute? Did I improve? Because external validation is delayed, internal validation is immediate. We should limit exposure to comparison too, because constant exposure to other people's wins distorts your perception. So create space to reduce mindless scrolling. Focus on your own progress. Compare only to your past self. And then think in years, not weeks. Most people operate on short timelines. Weeks, months. Elephant thinking operates on years. Ask yourself, where will this put me in 3 to 5 years' time if I stayed consistent? And then stay in the process long enough. This is the simplest and hardest rule. Stay. Stay when it's quiet, stay when it's boring, stay when it feels like nothing is happening, because that's where separation happens. Imagine quitting at attempt 999. Imagine walking away in year 4 of the bamboo. Imagine the elephant deciding it just wasn't worth it, because the dog was faster. Now flip it. Imagine what happens if you don't quit. If your journey feels slow, if your progress feels invisible, if it feels like you're carrying something no one else can see, that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It might mean something significant is being built. So don't let someone else's speed make you question your direction. Because when your building finally arrives, it won't just be seen, it will be felt. And if you like this episode, don't forget to follow, like, comment and subscribe. And just a quick shout out to our sponsors. Strong Coffee Company, protein-packed coffee for energy and clarity. Use code VANCRUX1 for 20% off at strongcoffeecompany.com. And then there's More Labs, clinically proven hydration and recovery drinks. Use code VANCRUX1 for 25% off at morelabs.com. And finally, Liquor Gummies, electrolytes and vitamins for hangover prevention. Use code VANCRUX1 for 20% off at liquor.com. That's liquure.com.